Hi, this is Eric from Longbox Review at longboxreview.wordpress.com, and I'm back today to talk about what is in the current previews catalog, things that are shipping in April and beyond, and things that caught my eye as I was looking through it. So let's get right to it. I want to start off with the free comic book day offerings, because there's a lot of really good stuff here. First off, this is the gold sponsors section of it. Very first item on the page 22, from Archaea Entertainment. The Mouse Guard Labyrinth and Other Stories hardcover free comic book. Let me repeat that. A hardcover free comic book for Free Comic Book Day. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this, hardcover. I might be wrong about that, but I have not seen it in the several years that I've been participating in Free Comic Book Day. So this is definitely on my must-get list. On the next page, just because I'm a huge Firefly and Serenity fan, there's the Star Wars Serenity flip book from Dark Horse. That looks pretty neat. And then from DC Comics, we have the New 52 #1 issue. Now, I may be wrong about this, but I believe that the news coming out of MegaCon was that this would feature feature the character of Pandora from the Flashpoint series, and her appearances. She also appeared in a bunch of the New 52 #1s. I thought at first that this New 52 offering from DC was just going to be a reprint, so I kind of passed on it in my mind, but considering the news from MegaCon, I probably will have to try and pick this one up somewhere. From Image Comics, the Image Comics 20th anniversary anthology. There's not much about it, just a mix of, it says here, a mix of images, best loved characters from the past and present. I might have to pick that up. And for those people that like the Marvel Comics stuff, I'm not saying I don't, it's just that this one, the offering for Marvel Comics, was the Avengers 12.1, which I actually paid for when they released it a while back. Moving on to the silver sponsors, there's a bunch of stuff here that looks pretty good. You have the also from Dark Horse Comics, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the Guild flip book, which I would like to get. So I'm a fan of both of those franchises. And then also from DC Comics, the DC Nation Super Sampler, Superman Family Adventures flip book. There's a lot of flip books I've noticed in the Free Comic Book Day offerings. Nothing wrong with that, just thought it was interesting. Let's see here. Just because I love dinosaurs and alien stories, you get both in one in the Dinosaurs vs. Aliens from Liquid Comics. Marvel Comics is offering Spider-Man Season 1. I might have to pick that one up just to see what that's all about. I'm sure that's just an excerpt from the Season 1 graphic novel that's coming out soon. I believe it's coming out soon. I don't think it's out yet. Anyway, from Radical Publishing, there's the Under the Fairy Moon preview, which it's kind of hard to see the cover in this little image in previews, but it looks really interesting. And like I do with Dinosaurs and Aliens, I like things about fairies and angels, and so anything that takes a new look, a fresh look at those kinds of characters and ideas, I tend to want to take a look at those. Red 5 Comics offers Atomic Robo and Friends for 2012. And I picked up the Atomic Robo free comic book last year, and I really enjoyed that, so I might have to pick that one up as well. And as I mentioned, I like stories about angels, and here from 12 Gauge Comics is the Anti #1 preview, and the image on the cover makes it look like it is about involving angels or something along that line, so that is interesting to me. Finally, from Valiant Entertainment, we have Valiant Comics 2012 with X-O Man of War on the cover there. It was recently announced that Valiant Comics were coming back this year, so I might have to pick that one up as well. All right, that's it for the Free Comic Book Day titles. There's a lot more, of course. Those are just the ones that caught my eye, and I would like to pick up if I can. Moving on to Dark Horse. Here we are, the first page of Dark Horse's section. Boba Fett is dead. I guess I should have said spoiler alert. I don't read the Star Wars comics But killing off a major character, supposedly, I guess, might be a big deal for those that are interested or might be interested. There's actually a lot of good stuff coming out from Dark Horse when I went through previews before. And here is one, Resident Alien number 0. It says the tagline is, "The Doctor is in, and he's an alien." Apparently there's an alien trapped on Earth, and he's used his alien powers to disguise himself. I don't read this and don't plan to, but that cover image for Conan the Barbarian number 3, it's very striking. The pale woman on the cover there, in what looks like she's there, or both she and Conan are in the ocean. I don't know. It looks cool though, and that would be by Massimo Carnevale. And also from Dark Horse, Alabaster, Wolves number 1 of 5. The cover image that they have featured here caught my eye. This is by Caitlin Kiernan, the writer. Steve Lieber is the artist. Greg Ruth did the cover with a Michael Avon Emming variant cover. So this features Caitlin Kiernan, one of her creations. I've never heard of it, but it looks interesting, at least from the cover. I find it also interesting that one of the bullet points here reads, "For fans of Vertigo's supernatural horror." So they are trying to capture that audience, or at least some people that like the Vertigo stuff, like me. I have to say though that while the cover image looks really, really nice, the interior art is okay. It's not my cup of tea, but it's not bad or anything. It's just not as when you see a striking cover image that they've showed here, and then you look at the interior art, and it's so much different. It kind of, I have to say, the interior art kind of pales in comparison. But the imagery that I see, looks like this leather-winged demon, 3-headed demon-like creature. Maybe it's an angel. I don't know what this universe is, but holding a flaming sword. Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like 4 heads. Anyway, so that alone makes me interested. Let's see. Reset number 1 of 4 by Peter Bagge. I'm not a big fan of Peter Bagge's art. I have to say though, I haven't read any of his stuff. I've just seen images over the years, and I just haven't cared for his style. But this particular story is interesting. I'll just read the blurb here in case you haven't read it yet. "If you could relive major events in your life, would you take a stab at making things better, or would your best attempts only make things worse? Or would you use your second chance to put your most twisted, perverted fantasies in motion? These are questions washed-up actor and comedian Guy Krause asks himself after he signs up to be the main research subject for a virtual reality experiment." So I'm really interested in this story. I'm going to have to pick that one up. Dark Horse is putting out looks to be it's a one-shot. It's called 3-Story, Secret Files of the Giant Man by Matt Kint. It's 32 pages for $3.50. That looks kind of interesting. Oh, here we go. This would be a tough decision for me, just based on price alone. The Grendel Omnibus Volume 1 Hunter Rose trade paperback for $24.99. I've been a fan of Grendel, the character, since the very first appearance. There's some things I haven't gotten over the years, and I believe what they reprinted here is material that I have not read. So I'm really, really wanting to get this. This is 600 pages for $25. Ah, wow. Boy, I really have to consider getting that one. And that's it for Dark Horse. Now on to DC. Justice League number 8 features Green Arrow trying to become a member, which is kind of neat because I just read I recently read the Justice League of America Showcase Presents Volume 1, and Green Arrow was the new member after the initial group got together. So they're repeating that bit of history here. Action Comics number 8. is as it says here, it's the epic 30-page conclusion of Grant Morrison and Rags Morales' majestic opening storyline. This has been one of my favorite of the new DC Comics. I can't wait to see how Grant Morrison is going to end this story. And of course, looking forward to what comes after that. And in Demon Knights, we get the backstory of how Madame Xanadu became as it says here, the paramour of both Jason Blood and Etrigan. So that'll be, I imagine, a pretty good story. Oh, and Bernard Chang is doing the guest art on this one. So I dropped Stormwatch after number 6, I decided. But here, the solicitation for number 8 has me really intrigued because one of the reasons that I started to get Stormwatch, or wanted to get Stormwatch when it was announced, was that the Martian Manhunter was part of the group. Unfortunately, he hasn't been utilized well, I'll say, but there's a bit of a focus on him in this issue, so I may have to try that out. So as was recently announced, the Teen Titans Superboy Legion Lost crossover will begin soon, and I guess the prelude to that is in Legion Lost number 8, and on the cover it looks like Rose Wilson is hacking and slashing. So I may have to pick that up because I am going to get that crossover between those 3 titles. I am still getting Teen Titans, but I did not get Superboy or Legion. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not get Superboy after number 1, and I stopped getting Legion Lost after number 3. So I will pick those up, and I may pick up number 8 as well. And also solicited are the first trades of the new 52 titles. Some are in hardcover, and some went directly to trade. I mentioned Legion Lost earlier. Here's the Legion Lost series, the 12-issue, as they say, epic by Abnett and Lanning, by Olivier Coipel, Pascal Alexis, and Andy Lanning. This is almost 300 pages for $30, and I've always heard that was a good storyline, so I may have to pick that up at some point. I don't think I can afford to get it this month in my order. Anybody who's interested in the DC Kids line, Green Lantern the Animated Series number 1 is solicited. So if you're going to be watching the new Green Lantern Animated Series coming to DC Nation on Cartoon Network March 3rd, and you want to read the comic as well, there you go. Or get the comic for your kids or for your nieces or nephews, grandchildren, whatever. Northlanders number 50, the final issue, is being solicited. I read a couple issues of this, and it was okay. Nothing that really intrigued me enough to get it, but I have a friend, my fellow co-host, Travis, Mr. Oddfellow himself, who enjoys this series quite a bit. I'm pretty sure he's not happy that this is ending. And that is it for DC. On to IDW. I love the Popeye number 1 of 4 cover, which is an homage to Action Comics number 1. I used to love the Popeye cartoons that were in syndication when I was a kid. It's $4 for 32 pages, 1 of 4. We'll see. If there's a huge discount on this from the place I order my comics from, I might pick that one up. And again, like I did last year, I'm going to order the Hero Comics. This is the 2012 edition. This is a comic whose proceeds benefits the Hero Initiative. I enjoyed the last year's offering, and I like the idea of contributing to that cause. So you should pick it up as well. And that's it for IDW. Moving on to Image Comics. There's this new series. There is a 6-issue series by Jonathan Ross with art and cover by Brian Hitch, which, Brian Hitch's work is pretty good. But it's called America's Got Powers. It looks like Image is soliciting issues 1 and 2 this month. A generation of superpowered teens battle to be the hero on the biggest TV event in history, but Tommy Watts' dreams of fame and fortune might be over even if he survives the trials. Someone is coming, he's going to destroy the show and everybody in it. I'm sorry, I have no interest in this story whatsoever. Brian Hitch's art or not, but I know some people are. Here's another book by a different Jonathan Hickman, with art by Ryan Bodenheim. It's called Secret. The preview pages that I see here just don't interest me whatsoever, which is too bad because when I saw it was by Hickman, I of course I wanted to find out more about it, but that just doesn't interest me. But it may you. And here's this oddball thing, Supreme number 63. This is Alan Moore's final Supreme tale, which the calling is the ultimate jumping on point for new readers. If it's the final tale, how can it be a jumping on point? That's such a bizarre solicitation. However, I did read I believe it was the Checker Publishing reprints of Supreme, the first 2 volumes they put out, and I really enjoyed those. Alan Moore told a hell of a story with that character and that in that universe. So I actually may pick that up just to see what the final Alan Moore story is, and maybe by jumping on point, maybe Image is going to come out with a new Supreme. Maybe that's already been announced. I may have missed that. I don't know. Now, where I wasn't all that keen on America's Got Powers, here's a different kind of teenage superhero book that does interest me. It's called Danger Club by Landry Walker and art and cover by Eric Jones. And the solicitation reads, faced with the deadliest peril the universe had ever known, the world's greatest heroes left the earth to battle a nightmarish evil, and they never came back. Now only their teenage sidekicks remain. Will the Danger Club unite against this unknown cosmic menace, or will their struggle for dominance destroy them? This sounds like an interesting story, so I will be picking the first issue up. On to Marvel, where we get the Avengers vs. X-Men #1 solicitation, which is weird because I swear that last month's previews there was a solicitation for #1, but apparently that was for the comic shop variant or something along those lines. I did order that, but now I got this other #1. So are these exactly the same, except for a cover change or something? I don't know, but it really kind of irritated me that they're doing this. They're also soliciting #2. Of course, Marvel being Marvel, they're going to double ship a lot of stuff. In fact, here we go, New Avengers, which is a title I do get, number 24 and 25. And speaking of Avengers, Secret Avengers number 26 here. You know, if Alan Davis was doing more than just the cover art, I would get that. I love Alan Davis's work. Oh, that's weird. Why? I just noticed this. Why is Secret Avengers number 25 solicited after number 26? By several pages. That's a weird thing to do. Anyway. I mentioned before with DC with the crossover, The Culling, between those 3 issues. Marvel's doing a similar thing with Avenging Spider-Man number 6, The Punisher number 10, and a Daredevil issue, number 11. So those characters are crossing over in something they're calling the Omega Effect, and all 3 issues will be shipping that month. So I just mentioned how if Secret Avengers had Alan Davis doing the art, I would pick it up, and I see here, and I knew this when it came out initially, but I didn't get it for whatever reason. But Captain America number 10 by Ed Brubaker has Alan Davis doing the interior art as well as the covers, so I'll probably have to pick that title up in trade just to see the first storyline to see how good that is. In Fantastic Four number 605, we get the storyline, the Fantastic Four of 3030. So they go into the future. I always kind of like those storylines. And then in FF number 17, we get a Human Torch and Spider-Man as roommates story. So, okay. I was kind of worried that FF would become the power pack of Fantastic Four, the Marvel Universe, but it seems like they're doing something a little different. I'll continue with it for now. Daredevil 10.1, and then I get another point issue. I don't know why they're doing these 0.1 things. Oh, and the 10.1 issue, as it says here, setting the stage for this month's Daredevil Spider-Man Punisher crossover, the Omega Effect. So you got to get that to get the prelude to it, I guess. All right, and two number 12 issues are the final issues of these series. First, Moon Knight, number 12 is the final one. It's too bad. I was really excited about this series when it was first talked about, but then I read the first 3 issues, I believe, and I was just not impressed with this take on Moon Knight. So I'm actually not surprised that this is going away. But I sure hope that somebody else comes up with a take on Moon Knight that is better in general, I guess. And then the other number 12 is The 12, number 12. I can't wait for Marvel to collect the entire series so I can read that story. I've heard it's really good. Or at least the however many issues that came out before J. Michael Straczynski stopped working on it was really good. I don't know about these more recent issues where they finished the series up. If you know, let me know. Moving on to the Icon imprint, we have a new book by Mark Millar and Dave Gibbons called The Secret Service. Says Millar in the solicitation text, Secret Service is the ramifications of how America is struggling on the world stage. Funding is being seriously undercut to balance the books, and some people are trying their best to take advantage of the fragile global situation. The hero and sidekick guys who lead the book are, I think, the best characters I've written. Which is not saying much in my mind, but I am still interested in that, so I may have to pick that up. I see here that in the collected editions section, Marvel is promoting again the Season 1 hardcovers, X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and Daredevil. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man Volume 4, Death of Spider-Man trade paperback. Oops, was that a spoiler too? So this collects that storyline, issues 156 to 160, by Bendis and Bagley. I'm kind of interested in reading that, but it's going to be low on the priority list. Oh, here's something I've heard over the years that this was pretty good. X-Men: The Hidden Years Volume 1 trade by John Byrne. I've heard that storyline was pretty good. I may have to add that to the list as well. On to the other comics by other publishers. First off is Rachel Rising. That Terry Moore cover to issue number 7 just looks amazing, as does most of his work. Actually, I would say all of his work. Last month I ordered the trade collecting issues 1 through 6, and I'm going to start picking up the individual issues starting this month with number 7. And going along with the whole I like angel stories, here is Ramiel, Wrath of God number 1 by Javier Grillo. Marxo? I'm sure that is not the way to pronounce it. I apologize. With art by Steve Gendron, Peter Wonsowski as well. That looks, it does feature the angel Ramiel, so I may have to pick that up. This is by the writer of the hit television series Lost and creator of The Middleman. I'm trying to pick up more non-major publisher titles, so that may be on the list as well. Boom Studios has a special $1 says full first issue, Fanboys vs. Zombies. If you're into that kind of thing, I suppose you could get that. I mean, it's just $1, so you can always try it out, I suppose. It's by Sam Humphries and art by Jerry Gaylord. Dynamite Entertainment has a big splash here. They've been advertising this book throughout the entire previews as I've been flipping through it, and now here it is, The Shadow number 1 by Garth Ennis, which should prove to be quite good. Art by Aaron Campbell. Covers by Alex Ross, Howard Chaykin, John Cassaday, and Jay Lee. So 25% between each one of them. Definitely going to pick up the first issue, maybe the first few. Also solicited is the Shadow, Blood, and Judgment trade by Howard Chaykin. It says back in print after 20 years. Now, what I don't know is, was this the Shadow that DC put out a while back that Howard Chaykin did, or is this a different series? I don't know. And I enjoyed that series from DC all those years ago. If you're a fan of Jeff Lemire's work, which I am kind of lukewarm on him, but if you are a fan, he has the long out of print Xeric Award-winning graphic novel Lost Dogs. It has been resolicited by Top Shelf. Apparently that was his first professional work. Tomorrow's Publishing is putting out a quality companion softcover featuring all the classic characters, the Freedom Fighters, Uncle Sam, Phantom Lady, Black Condor, the Ray, Human Bomb, and Doll Man, as well as Plastic Man, the Black Hawks, and others. The volume covers the characters' revival from the 70s up through the current versions of the characters at DC Comics. So you get 256 pages for $32. At the top of the show, I mentioned the Serenity Flipbook for Free Comic Book Day. Here towards the back is the Big Damn Firefly and Serenity Trivia Book for all the fans of that universe. Inside it says you will find over 1,000 questions that delve into the characters, actors, episodes, and behind-the-scenes moments for $20. Looking at the Graffiti Designs T-shirts section, there's some really cool. They categorize these as the Femme Fatale section, but the Batgirl Zatanna T-shirts look pretty cool. And then they even have a Jade T-shirt, which I find that interesting. Jade is on there. That's not a character I would associate as having any kind of a big following to put on a T-shirt, but regardless, that's still cool. I always love Jade. And then they have also the Joker's skinned T-shirt, so you get that image from Detective Comics where you get to see Joker's skinned face, which is really gruesome. And then they have a Rachel Rising cover T-shirt, which looks really cool. It's just that green background with the silhouetted body and the red exhaling or steam or whatever that is. But it's very striking, very cool. Have I mentioned this before? How much I really, really, really want the Mal Reynolds pistol replica from QMX. This has been in previews at least for a few months. Unfortunately, my wonderful wife hasn't got it for me yet. Or maybe I should just pluck down the $80 for it myself. The Magdalena artifact statue, that looks really neat. $240 though. Here's another statue that looks really neat. The DC Comics Batman black costume variant Art FX statue. Available in July for $100. Looks really cool. Oh my gosh, you can get a Doctor Who TARDIS playset with action figure and minifigure. It has multiple levels, walkways, and doorways. That's just cute. I think I mentioned this before, but it's in here again, or maybe this is a different version, I don't recall, but man, I would love to have this. This is the Star Trek The Next Generation Enterprise D model, imported from Japan for $170. I can't justify spending that much money on something like that, but that would just look really cool in my office. From Geek Grab Bag, you can get cologne tying in to the Avengers. Let's see here. You can get the Loki Mischief cologne, Nick Fury Infinity Formula cologne, and then you have the assembled the Avengers cologne set, which is Worthy, which is Thor, Smash, well, of course, that's the Hulk, Mark 7, Iron Man, and Patriot for Captain America. So the Avengers cologne, if you want to smell like an Avenger, that you can get the entire set for $60, or the Nick Fury and Loki individual cologne sets for $40 each. I find this a bit odd considering that it is coming out at the end of February, but the Justice League Doom DVD and Blu-ray offerings are here being solicited. Not sure why that's here. I guess for people who want to wait to watch it. I don't know. I'm going out February 29th and I'm buying it that day. So, and that is it. I've gone through the entire previews catalog for the things that are shipping in April and beyond that interested me. If you have any comments, please let me know. longboxreview@gmail.com. You can always leave comments at the blog, longboxreview.wordpress.com. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook, either way. Please leave some feedback at iTunes and other podcast networks. Thanks for listening.